December 27th, 10:35 a.m., District Court, Courtroom number 3. Court is now back in session. Witness, please testify to the court about everything that you saw. You still halfway expect the Law and Order done. I do think that would make this very silly in a good way. On the night of December 24th. Alright, leave it to me. Please, Larry, don't mess this one up. I hate to admit it, but you're our last chance. Von Karma didn't even have time to prep his witness. I just hope Edgeworth is right about this being our big break. Why did I see Francisca Von Karma? Francisca's not here. We're against the old man. That night I was out in a boat on the lake. I was looking for something, and I found it. So I quietly slipped the boat back in at the rental shop dock. Then, just as I was thinking about going home, I heard this bang. I looked out over the lake, but I didn't see a boat. So after I heard that single gunshot, I went home. That was an unusually vague testimony, even for this court. In any case, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. What's wrong, Nick? It's Larry. I have no idea what he's going to say if I press him. I'm a little scared. Well, we've come this far. There's no way to go but forward, Nick. Okay. So... what were you looking for? Looking for something? Yeah. Mr. Butz, what was it you were looking for? What the witness was searching for is irrelevant. Most likely he was hunting for this Gordy. That's surprisingly close to the truth in a sense. This is all irrelevant. Let's get it over with. So I quietly slipped the boat back in at the rental shop dock. Around what time was that? Well, let's see. I figure it was out searching for about an hour. I guess it was around 12 o'clock. Yeah. You're not sure? Hey, don't give me that face! I'm not some sort of human sundial, okay? People use watches these days, Larry. No, they use statues of the thinker that announce the time. Then, just as I was thinking about going home, I heard this bang. Oh, wait. I wanted to... Where did the sound come from? Yeah, well, I wasn't too sure about that. I looked around, you know. Did you look at the lake? Yeah, I looked. Okay. She didn't see a boat. Wasn't there a boat on the lake? Order. Order. Well, Mr. Butz? Whoa. Everybody just calm down, okay? I mean, it was real foggy that night. I'm not sure whether there was a boat out there or not. Oh, okay. No problem. That's just the most important part of this case. So you only heard one bang, correct? Yeah. Huh. Well, Nick? It was a pretty wishy-washy testimony, wasn't it? I guess I should just start working on the contradictions. Okay, so I guess we... So I guess that's the single gunshot here. And... I guess we're going for the... That seemed like the most correct or incorrect part. Wait a sec, Larry. What? You only heard one bang? You're sure? That's what I said. But Miss Lotta Hart testified yesterday that she heard 2 bangs. And the old man just now said the same thing. They both heard 2 gunshots that night. Huh? Were you even listening? Were you paying attention at all to what they said? Yo, Nick, please! Huh? Something's been bothering me. I'm a witness, see? I'm like a customer here, and I want good service on the witness stand. So you gotta treat me nice and stuff, okay? Like, where's the samurai dogs? Where's the judge dogs?
Mr. Butz,
What?
you only heard one gunshot. Are you sure?
Well, to tell you the truth, I'm not sure.
Huh?
Not sure? How could you not be sure? Yeah, well, I might have missed the other gunshot. I was listening to something else. Something else? My radio, dude, with my headphones. On my Sony Walkman.
Order, and stop that booing.
Boo! Something stinks! And it's the Butz!
Mr. Butz, you were listening to the radio with your headphones.
Yeah, so what? That a crime? I listen to my radio. Everybody listens to the radio. What's the big deal?
Mr. Von Karma, your opinion?
Waste of time. I do not accept this witness, nor his shoddy testimony.
Well, Mr. Wright, should he continue the testimony?
Alright, I'm of two minds of this. On the one hand, he's definitely not helping matters. I feel like it's going to be one of those moments of, I'm going to say continue, and it might be wrong. And then we'll loop back around, and we'll say that's enough. And then we'll say that's enough, because we have all that we need. But I'm going to say continue. Your Honor, please allow the witness to continue his testimony. Bah, nothing is more pitiful than a lawyer who doesn't know when he's lost.
Very well, Mr. Butz. Please give your testimony and be sure to include details like your radio.
Right, leave it to me. I wouldn't if I were there. I wouldn't if there were any other way out of this, believe me. You figured it out, Kiki? Shh. I gotta figure it out. It's lonely, being alone on Christmas Eve. That's why I was listening to an all-request show on the radio, see? I was listening to it real booming loud, like... But I'm sure I heard that gunshot. I remember exactly what the DJ was saying when I heard it, too.
You were listening to your radio at a high volume.
Yeah, what's the big problem?
That's terrible for your hearing.
Can a man listen to his radio in peace? Isn't this a free country? What about this justice system makes you think this is a free country, Larry? You've been on trial. I truly believe Larry has no idea what the problem here is. Judge, can you believe a word this witness says? Wait, okay, so now we're allowed to cast doubt? What he heard was probably nothing more than a drumbeat from the radio.
True enough, it is difficult to believe this testimony.
Objection! Wait, Your Honor. The witness says he remembers exactly what the DJ said when he heard the gunshot.
Excuse me? DJ? What is a DJ?
An announcer. The guy who says things on the radio. You know, a disc jockey. A compact disc jockey. Anyway, what this means is, when he heard the sound, no music was playing. The DJ only talks between songs, so he could have heard the gunshot from the lake. I'd like to cross-examine the witness, Your Honor.
Very well, Mr. Wright. I am most impressed by whoever says the most recent, relevant, cool thing.
I can't believe I'm continuing this charade. Okay, so... It's lonely. So you turned on the radio. Right. I just wanted to hear someone's voice, you know? I don't know what... You don't know what it's like out there, alone, on Christmas Eve, alone! I shouldn't have said anything. Okay, maybe I should just, like, ask... What the DJ was saying. We'll start there. What did she say?
Objection, Mr. Wright. Please cease this pointless questions. What possible good could knowing what a radio DJ said do us? Indeed, Mr. Von Karma has a point. I'll allow the question only if you see some reason why we should care. I mean, I think we should care because that proves that he was listening to a DJ speak. It helps his credibility. We should care, Your Honor. Of course we should. Why? Well, how do you know if we don't ask, Fine. Very well. Mr. Butz, please testify to the court. I could not be a lawyer in this universe. This is so wild. What was the radio announcer saying when you heard the gunshot? Just when she said, hey, it's almost Christmas, I heard the gunshot. It's almost Christmas. Are you sure? Of course I am. She had this real sexy voice. Maybe Von Karma was right. I'm not sure how that helped us at all. This is the most ludicrous testimony I've ever heard, but there is one gleaming ray of hope in there. I've got to press it until we get to the bottom of what happened. Okay, so... I'm presenting this as a contradiction because the two gunshots were after midnight. Larry, are you absolutely sure what you're saying is correct? Huh? What's with the face? You look scary, dude. Hey, if you're trying to scare me, you better know I don't scare that easy. Check chat here. Yeah, bluffing and just pushing things in the courtroom, like, you can have very good sound evidence that people will just throw out, but the moment you make some flimsy claim that makes the judge go, that must be correct, you just get to walk right through. Or, as Penta mentions, wagging your finger. That also works. Is something the matter, Mr. Wright? Your Honor, did you hear what the witness just said? The DJ said, hey, it's almost Christmas, when he heard the gunshot. Indeed. And? Almost Christmas means it wasn't Christmas. Do you realize what this means? When he heard the gunshot, it was still Christmas Eve. That would seem to be the case, yes. That contradicts the two testimonies we have heard so far, Your Honor. Both Ms. Hart and the old man said it was after midnight when they heard the shots. In other words, when they heard the gunshots, it was already Christmas. This is a clear contradiction, Your Honor. Oh, yeah. Order, order. This is the, like, we did something right music. What does this mean? The two prior witnesses heard gunshots after midnight. However, this witness says he heard a gunshot before midnight. Judge, the answer is simple. The gun was fired again. Oh no. The current witness was plainly mistaken. Just look at him. Suspicious. He's one of those rabble-rousing youths. What? Well, Mr. Wright, what do you think about Mr. Butz's claim he heard the gunshot before midnight? Larry's right. Larry's not mistaken, Your Honor. He heard that gunshot before midnight. Intriguing. I'm assuming you have evidence for this wild claim. Show me evidence there was a gunshot before midnight. Easy. Your detective gave it to me. This is my evidence. The murder weapon? You see the rabble being roused as we speak. Yeah, the rabble is roused. Something about this pistol was bothering me, Your Honor. Both of the witnesses who testified yesterday heard 2 gunshots. However, the murder weapon was fired 3 times. Oh, that's an inconsistency in the... Because the old man didn't testify yesterday. It was just Lotta Hart, I think? Oh no, Gumshoe said 2 gunshots too as well. Okay, that's what he's talking about. When, then, was the last shot fired? Only now have I realized the truth. That 3rd shot was the shot Larry heard just before midnight. Order. Order.
I guess that would make sense out of yesterday's testimonies. Bah, you waste our time again with your empty statements. Yes, the pistol was fired 3 times. But do you have any proof that it was fired before midnight? You have proof that the witness didn't just think he heard something. Indeed. Well, Mr. Wright, there's no turning back now. Do you have evidence that proves there was a gunshot before midnight? You have evidence that proves Mr. Butz wasn't just hearing things. That's a good question. Which was an empty lake. Oh, okay. It was put earlier in the file than I thought it would be. I thought this was the smaller version of this picture. Okay, yeah, there we go. Look at this photograph. Every time I do, I laugh. Every time this is said in a trial, I lose a little bit more of my sanity and remember that Nickelback exists. I actually don't mind Nickelback. It's just so blatant. Oh, goodness. I chose 2 similar of voices for Larry and Von Karma, so I'm having to drink a lot of water. This was taken by our witness yesterday. Every time the sentence is said, you lose 15 of your brain cells. But the good news is, the brain has a lot of cells. It'll take a very long time for any meaningful damage to occur. Because you guys are smart. You definitely have more than 15 brain cells. I believe in you all. This was taken by our witness yesterday, Ms. Lotta Hart, with her automatic camera. The timestamp on the photo reads December 24th, 11:50 p.m. Oh my goodness. Sorry, the judge saying that sentence is not something I was prepared for. Oh yeah? But there's nothing on the lake in this picture. Your Honor, the real issue here is not why nothing is shown in this photograph, but why is it this photograph exists at all? What do you mean? Your Honor, this photograph was taken by an automatic camera. That camera was set to go off in response to loud noises. Aha. Correct. There was a loud noise on the lake at 11:50 p.m. That is why this photograph was taken. In other words, there was a gunshot at the time that Larry claims. Technically, this is not really proof, but nothing that Von Karma has submitted as proof either, so I'm fine doing a little bit of speculative logic. Order. That would make sense of the evidence we've seen so far. However, this leaves me wondering what exactly did happen that night on the lake. I mean, someone died, right? There's a lot of stuff we haven't really answered. We've just done a lot of finger pointing at Miles Edgeworth. And some finger waggling at me. Exactly. If this is true, there were 2 sets of gunshots, separated by 25 minutes. One at 11:50, another at 15 minutes after midnight. Why, I ask you, why? Uh-oh, I'd better think of something quick. Wait a second. Gunshots separated by 25 minutes. What's wrong, Nick? I have it. Huh? Remember the case with the Steel Samurai? Huh? Yeah, of course I remember. The murderer in this case had the same idea as the murderer in that case. What do you mean? Maya. Yes? If we don't figure this out now, we'll never overturn Edgeworth's guilty verdict. I've got a hunch, and I'm gonna run with it. Right. I mean, is this safe? Safe? We've already got a guilty verdict. We have nothing to lose. You just watch and let me know if I say anything that sounds fishy, okay? All right, Nick. Your Honor. Yes, Mr. Wright. Okay, so that's my hint. It's the same as the Steel Samurai idea. And in the Steel Samurai, we had the murderer imitating the So we had the murderer disguised as somebody else. Or making it look like an accident, but I think the gun removes the concept of making it look like an accident. Yes, Mr. Wright? The testimony just now has cleared up this entire case. Oh, no. What do you mean, Mr. Wright? So you finally realized the truth. There can be no other murderer here other than Miles Edgeworth himself. Wrong, Von Karma. A man was shot that night, but it wasn't Edgeworth who did the shooting. Listen, rookie. Take a deep breath and consider the facts. At the time of the murder, one boat was on that lake. This was shown by the witness's photograph. The defendant, Edgeworth, and the victim, Robert Hammond, were on that boat. There was a gunshot fired on that boat and Robert Hammond fell into the lake. The distance of the shooting was 1 meter. It couldn't have been suicide. Well, the guilty party has to be the other man on that boat. I admit it is hard to imagine any other possibility. Yes, but this assumes that the victim was shot at 15 minutes after midnight. What do you mean by that, Mr. Wright? We have photographic evidence of the time of the shooting. The timestamp on the photo says 0015, but Larry heard of a gunshot 15 minutes before that. Robert Hammond was killed then, 25 minutes before the shot on the lake. That's the only way Edgeworth could be innocent. Mr. Wright, are you quite mad? Explain who the two men on the boat are. Okay. So, that's Edgeworth and the murderer. Just looking over the evidence to try to get a memory there. Because... So... The fall in the lake was a dramatic dive. Let's say Edgeworth and the murderer. Of course, it was Edgeworth and the murderer. After the murderer killed Robert Hammond at 11:50, he assumed the guise of Mr. Hammond and met Edgeworth. What? Are you serious? Yes. Edgeworth won't tell us why he went to the lake that night. However, I have a hunch. That night, Robert Hammond called Edgeworth to the lake. Now, Edgeworth didn't know Robert Hammond's face that well. That's why he didn't suspect anything when the murderer took Robert Hammond's place. I'm not sure what to make of all this. Ludicrous! Mr. Wright, tell us the name of the murderer then. The murderer's name? Right, it's... it's definitely not Lotta Hart. I feel like he would have mentioned that. Oh, geez. Okay. So I'm just looking at the... I assume the DL6 stuff is gonna be relevant. Which I assume is what... I'm gonna say I don't know it, and Maya is gonna correct me and say, no, Nick, you do know it. Because that makes sense to me. I'm gonna say... I don't know. Actually, I don't know the murderer's name. You don't know? But don't you know that your client is only innocent if you prove someone else guilty? That's how it works here. We're gonna wrap this up. This is day 3 anyway. Or no, this is day 2 of trial. Again, you waste my time. I don't know because he never told us. Oh. It's kind of what I was wondering. I mean, I do still think that that's going to be the reveal, is that the boat guy is Yanni Yogi, because they mentioned that he had memory issues because of the oxygen deprivation in the elevator. Right. That was my theory at the very end of my last stream. That's what it was. Yeah. Okay. The murderer is the caretaker of the boat shop. That old man. At 11:50, he was the one who killed Robert Hammond. The caretaker of the boat shop? Where did he do this? There weren't any boats on the lake then. Why would he have to go all the way out on the lake just to shoot somebody? May I suggest that the real scene of this crime was not on a boat? What? Well then, where did the murder take place? Show the judge where the murder really took place. Do you see a murder location? That's right! Here, of course, the boat shop, where he lives. Not on a boat. Lonely Island stocks dropping hard. Oh no. That way he could meet with the victim without anyone seeing. Do you have proof that the boat shop was the scene of the crime? Recall Larry's testimony, if you will. Oh, right, because he was out on the lake. Wait, no. Right, okay. That night he was searching out on the lake in a boat, searching for something. He finds it and returns to the boat. Then, just as he's starting to head for home, he hears a gunshot. He heard a gunshot, Your Honor, even though he was wearing headphones at the time. In other words, the gunshot was very close by. And gunshots aren't just loud, after all. And where would that be if he had just returned a boat? The boat shop. Audible gasp. Mr. Wright, what happened that night on Gourd Lake? Please tell the court from the beginning. Yes, Your Honor. Nick, are you sure about this? Not really. They are decently loud. Yeah, well, and like the other thing that comes to mind here is this game originally came out in 2001, and noise canceling tech was not where it is now. Much less like on what some guy running a hot dog stand would be able to afford and carry around with him on a little portable radio unit. So we're talking like the old, like really loose and ill-fitting, like the Walkman style headphones. So I feel like you'd be able to hear a gunshot basically anywhere wearing those. Not really. But I think if I start at the very beginning and I take it slow, I might just be able to figure this out. That night, the caretaker of the boat shop called Robert Hammond to his shop. What a dramatic scene! Oh my goodness! This was around 11:50 p.m. That was when the gunshot that Larry heard was fired. After that, the caretaker put on Robert Hammond's coat. He became Robert Hammond. The coat really doesn't seem necessary. Then, he got in the boat with Edgeworth and went out into the middle of the lake. Then, who fired the pistol on the boat, Mr. Wright? The boat shop caretaker. Of course, it was the murderer who shot the pistol. He shot twice. Both missed Edgeworth on purpose. Wait a minute. Yes? Why would he shoot twice if he didn't mean to hit anyone? Details. Know this, Mr. Wright. The moment you run out of explanations is the moment you lose. Tell us why the murderer had to fire twice. Well, why would he fire twice? I mean, I assume that he would know that this camera exists. Because he would have seen her go out there. I don't know if she went out on the lake or not. But I do think the making the witness part makes sense. I don't think there was any intention of ever actually hitting Edgeworth. I'm gonna say that. I believe he shot twice to create a witness, Your Honor. Create a witness? the murderer lifts his pistol and fires one shot. That ensures that anyone who heard the shot would look at the lake. Indeed, Ms. Hart did exactly that after hearing the first gunshot. Next, the murderer waits a bit and he fires again. Then, he takes a swan dive. The murderer jumps from the boat himself, leaving the pistol in the boat behind him. I see. To someone looking from the edge of the lake, it would appear that one of the men on the boat had shot the other. The murderer didn't know about the automatic camera, of course. That's why he shot twice to draw attention to the boat. Once you realize that, everything else falls into place. The boat shop caretaker swam back to his shop. Then he put Mr. Hammond's wet coat back on the body, and threw the body into the lake. This is what happened, Your Honor. These are the events that transpired that night on Gourd Lake. Silence. Pure, unadulterated silence as everyone considers that. Bailiff, bring out the witness from before. The boat shop caretaker. Quickly. Am I free to go? I left the hot dog stand running. Very well. While we are waiting for the caretaker, I would like to ask the defendant, Miles Edgeworth, a few questions. Mr. Edgeworth, please take the stand. Mr. Edgeworth, you heard what the defense has said. Yes. Well, why did you go to the lake that night? What Wright has said was mostly correct. Astonishingly so, actually. Yes. Several days ago, I received a letter. The letter was signed Robert Hammond. He asked me to come to the boat shop by the lake at midnight on Christmas Eve. He said he had something very important to discuss with me. Something important. I'm sorry, I can't say what it was. Your Honor, sir. Bailiff, we are conducting a trial here. I ask that you remain quiet. The witness has disappeared. He isn't at the boat shop either. What? What should I do? Find him quickly. We cannot allow him to get away. Ah, courtroom drama. Mr. Von Karma, your witness has disappeared. A search warrant has already been issued. It goes without saying that I cannot declare a verdict under these circumstances. I will extend the trial until tomorrow, the final day allowed. After that, are you just going to declare declare Miles Edgeworth guilty otherwise? If so, this is ridiculous. Oh goodness, I need to redo that one. I cracked. Oh my gosh, that got me. I will extend the trial until tomorrow, the final day allowed. I request that the police department utilize all of its forces to find that witness. Am I understood? One more thing. Just who is that boat shop caretaker? I think his identity has become very important to this trial. I want him, and I want to know who he is. Very well. Court is adjourned. You think that's what happens? Me too. I'm poking fun at it because it's very soap opera-y, but it is fun. All right. December 27th, 1:22 p.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 2. Yay, Nick, you did it! Yeah. Well, at least we got out from under that guilty verdict. And what about Larry? That was something else. Even Von Karma didn't know what to do with his testimony. Larry really helped us out. Sure, once I sifted through his unique testimony. Still, he did save us. I just wish our cases weren't so down to the wire all the time. I know what you mean. Sometimes I feel like it's us on trial instead of our clients. I mean, I don't know, the first trial was pretty good. Hey, Edgeworth. Larry is not the MVP. He just is not. Mr. Edgeworth? Did you say something? Don't look so pained. I mean, it looks like you're probably going to get off the hook. You could try to smile just a little. Relax. I'm sorry, but I fear it's not over for me yet. What do you mean? Yep. Right. There's something that's been troubling me for a long time now, and I don't know whether or not to tell you. Edgeworth? No, there's so little time left. I want to tell you to get it off my chest, but I can't make up my mind. What is this about, Edgeworth? It's a nightmare I've had. A memory of a crime that I committed. Ooh. I'm interested in that, but I do want to reiterate, like, yeah, don't tell people to smile. You can be like, I feel like in this instance telling him to cheer up is okay, but, like, come on, Edgeworth, you got a nice smile, girl. Like, that doesn't, that's just weird. That's creepy. Memory of a crime that I committed. A crime you committed? A memory of a murder. Oh. So he did murder somebody. Wait.